Ik heb altijd al een zwak gehad voor de Balkan. Vanwege de gastvrije cultuur, het mooie landschap en de voelbare geschiedenis. Midden in dit fantastische gebied ligt Bosnië en Herzegovina. Een typisch Balkanland met verschillende volkeren, geloven en een heftig verleden. Dit land heeft mij in het bijzonder gegrepen. Daarom maak ik er een reis doorheen. Ik wil onderzoeken hoe mijn generatiegenoten leven in dit land vol met sporen die zijn achtergelaten door vorige generaties. Ik laat mij meenemen door leeftijdsgenoten die mij aan hun land voorstellen. Mijn reis begint in München. Hier ontmoet ik Daria. Ze komt uit Bosnië en Herzegovina, maar probeert haar leven nu in Duitsland op te bouwen.
It was pretty hard at the beginning, this big change, and my reaction to this big change was not what I was expecting of myself, so I was kind of, depressed. I felt all the time like I need really urgently to do something, and whatever I tried was all the time collapsing somehow. So, and then just out of not knowing, I started drawing, and my drawings actually first three of them were only the interior from all this beautiful town and all of this greatness here that you can actually experience. I was doing the drawings of the apartment that I was in. The thing is that most of the things that were happening in my head were happening in this apartment. All of my thinkings and my thoughts and my doubts and everything was happening really here and only here. And that is how this drawings, it's a series that I want now to finish. That is how they actually came out. Bosnia puts you like to the cliff, like you're on a cliff. And there is nothing there. You can just fall down, down there, and you're just standing there on the edge of that cliff. It's just pushing you to go and to try to make living anywhere else than there. But then when somebody tells me like, don't come back to your own home, it put me even more in a really bad position. I was really devastated by that. So not to have an option to go back to my own home is something that I don't want.
Daria is niet de enige die haar leven buiten Bosnië en Herzegovina probeert op te bouwen. Mijn leeftijdsgenoten vertrekken massaal uit dit land.
The main problem is everywhere, like in Bosnia, I guess. It's the nationalism part of story, and one example is the school behind. The building, it looks strange. The left part is like almost destroyed and the right part is new. It's actually, we have two schools here. One is like the regular gymnasium and other one is a Catholic gymnasium, which is fine, I guess, but the idea between making the breaks at different times and also putting a fence between them, it's kind of strange, I guess. And when you think about it, why do you do it? What's the need of it? It divides. If you put a fence between something, it says a lot, I guess.
Er leven 3 etnische volkeren door elkaar. Bosnische Serven, Bosnische Kroaten en Bosnische moslims, die ook wel de Bosniakken worden genoemd. In Joegoslavië leefden deze volkeren in harmonie met elkaar. In 1991 kwam hier een eind aan. Slovenië en Kroatië splitsten zich af van Joegoslavië. Een jaar later deed Bosnië en Herzegovina hetzelfde. Deze breuk leidde tot een etnische oorlog. ...3 jaar en ongeveer 100.000 doden later was de oorlog voorbij, maar de haat is nooit weggegaan.
We didn't have a winner in the war, and usually the winners write the history. And now on 3 million people we have 3 histories, everyone is teaching their own, the Croats, the Serbs and the Bosniaks. It's kind of strange, if you take those 3 books it's a totally different story, and for sure everyone has their own story, their own opinion about it, and in kind of way it creates a conflict between like, yeah, what's the truth in the end, like, what's the true story behind everything.
Adin brengt mij in contact met een collega van hem, Emina. Ook ontmoet ik de laatst overgebleven band in Travnik, genaamd Holographic Human Element.
I believe that one of the biggest problems is youth people who are not trying to include themselves in politics. All that they can see is a chance to find a job outside, I mean in Europe.
Young people in Bosnia don't have the idea of their rights. They are just taking things for granted. Like, you can't have a job if you're not in a party. You can't have a job here, you have to go to Germany, to Austria. And nobody's complaining.
It was like years and years of brainwashing that you can't do anything, that you live in a poor country, that you have no future. That's why people think, I can't do anything here, because they are brainwashed.
Ajde. A fino, šta vam je, nemoj se tako. Davde, a te magnete ruke, jeste stvarno prezobrac. Broj 2. Broj 2. Sad mene ovako. Skloni se. Kavilu. Kako jedno po jedno. Kavilu. Hej, kavilu.
And why are you still here?
That's a good question, actually. I came back from Sarajevo to Travnik to try to change something, but I'm not sure anymore. Like, it gets quite hard to try to change something.
I've survived the war. I was a small kid. I had only 3 years old, so I have survived, and now during the peace time I will go. What's the point? There are no grenades, there are no bombs, there are no enemies.
Those who don't want to wait and want to change something, they usually give it a try. They fail usually, and then they leave.
Leave from your country, that's the easiest thing to do. Okay, I'll just pack my bags, I'll find some money, and I will go to Germany, to, I don't know, Switzerland, to France, never mind. That's the easiest thing.
Maybe we are the only one left in Bosnia that believe that we can do it in our independent way, that just playing music and earning money from that, to make more music and to get better. We don't want to do it like normal way.
You have the opportunity to collect all these emotions, to collect all these raw things which you can engage with when you are making music, when you are making art. And I think that's essential for an artist to have. The best jokes were in the war. The best bands that played here were during the war. So people in Bosnia have that tradition to turn bad things into jokes, and I don't know, I think that's just the way that we are, basically.
That's the way how we survive.
Ik rij naar het zuiden, naar Herzegovina. De bomen verdwijnen en het landschap wordt ruiger.
the whole Bosnia and Herzegovina, United World College is the only school where people of 3 different nationalities are attending the same classes, they are doing the same syllabus. It's one of the reasons why it was established exactly here in Mostar, is to engage in the city and be with the people of this city and try to sort of show an example of a perfectly functioning school with people from 60 different countries that can set quite a good example for people here, that they can still cooperate and hang out and be together even though they are of different nationalities.
Ivana is nog heel jong, 17 jaar. Het verbaast mij dat zij op zo'n jonge leeftijd al bezig is met haar vertrek.
I'm gonna have higher chances of getting into some better universities abroad, which is a very, very good thing for me. I'm really interested in business and entrepreneurship. I'm probably gonna study something in that field. And I'm planning to work for a couple of years abroad and then come back and invest the money that I earn in Bosnia and Herzegovina. It seems like a good plan to me. I feel like I cannot go somewhere and just leave everything here, all the people and all the problems. I feel like I will always feel this duty to come back and do something, bring something back to Bosnia and Herzegovina, because this is the country that gave me everything that I have right now. I've recently had a chance to talk with one of the older people in my hometown. He says that this reminds him of the times after the war when a lot of people were leaving, and the last couple of years have been like that. People started leaving in a bit bigger numbers than it was before 10 years or something. And it's just sad for them to see people leaving, but they understand it because it's always been like that. People always went where they had better conditions for living, and they understand it, but they would also like young people to stay here and try to work and use this country's resources to build something here as well. It's been more than 2 years since my whole family has been in one place at the same time. Even though we don't get to see each other, we're in touch every day, so we know what's going on in every single one of our lives. We are all there to support each other in every moment. I think it's always been like that people just rely on each other so much because they understand each other, they're of the same blood, and they feel like they need to protect each other because they have this bond of being a family. No matter if they're just cousins or brother and sister, it's just this bond that's really strong and it's really preserved in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and that's why people always help each other as much as they can.
Het is Pasen. Daria is teruggekomen uit München om het met haar familie te vieren.
I did look forward to it, and I'm happy. I'm somehow in peace as well, and the burden of the responsibility I need to take over are not here that heavy anymore. You come back to your parents and your friends and the surroundings that understands you, and that even if they don't understand you, it's just fine, you know.
Ja šakim? Neću ništa.
Uspijem.
A ti aj možeš sad sa nama, znaš šta? Ne može, vidiš. Eto vidite, da ne mene ti je radila.
Super.
You would buy it, you would do everything what I say, you know?
Daria is opgegroeid in het nabijgelegen Novigrad.
In ex-Yugoslavia, it was actually a big center because there was a big railway then, and it was used very much because the town is really on the border. There would always be lots of people coming from all over the world. But now it died out after the war. I don't think it will ever rise again the same way. I had a really beautiful life and I was surrounded with really beautiful people. I was really lucky. I wouldn't change my growing up in Bosnia, but times were hard, of course, not only for me, for so many young people. So this careless childhood or youth was present, but it always needed to be a bit in a shadow, even though our parents and my parents gave everything that they could. A big sacrifice, only for us not to feel nothing after the war and not to feel the lack of money, not to feel that, even though we knew it and we've seen it. It's something that I'm really proud of. I'm proud of my country. It gave me the most important essence, things that I needed to continue with my life, and I'm proud of that, really. My self-portraits, they have this deformity, and you could never say that is me, and people never recognize. I didn't even painted it to look like me. I just painted it to see how do I actually look to myself. And it came out to be terrible. So that was a big epiphany for me when I found out. It has a lot to do with what was collected in me during my growing up here in Bosnia. It needs to go out somewhere in different ways, in art. You can go really crazy here, I need to say. It can get really tough that you just want to go away and forget about everything. It can get really tough with people and with our society and how things are functioning. I mean, not functioning. I could got really depressed in knowing that nothing is changing and seeing my parents kind of dying out here. I just want to have a normal life, because this here, in many situations, it's not. And I want to be able to afford it to my parents as well. Even though for them it's the most important thing is that I am happy. But I think that I will be more happy there. I am happy here, temporary. But after time passes and I'm still here, then it gets hard. And then, so this option that I have to go to Germany is something very big. It kind of, now I'm in peace because I know that there is somewhere where I can go away from here.
Het valt mij op dat Daria met grote trots vertelt over haar land, ondanks dat zij zelf haar toekomst hier niet ziet. Tijdens mijn reis kom ik vaak langs plekken van vergane glorie. Milos neemt mij mee naar nog zo'n plek, waar de welvaart van voormalig Joegoslavië nog goed zichtbaar is.
Ma nije tu negdje iz parka krenulo za nama. Cijenac mali pa gledam kako si obezbeđenje. Gledam kako ću ga se riješiti. Right now we are standing on the ground of a factory called Incel. I think that this place employed around 30% of the inhabitants of Banja Luka, so it's kind of sad watching what happened to this place. I mean, I really don't know how exactly did this place look like, but I am sure that it didn't look like this, because now it's awful. It's a disaster. It scarred all of us. Every people that was here, every people that had a family here when that things happened. This is just a reminder to the things that we lost and the way we lost it. I am quite sad that I didn't get to experience that former Yugoslavia. Even now, really like that flag of Yugoslavia with that red star in the middle. And that former national anthem, Hey Slovenia, it still makes my skin crawl when I hear it, you know. There is always the other side of the coin, you know. There is always people telling that it wasn't that good, that it was actually a bad thing, that it was a dictatorship, that it was I don't know what. But probably 80–90% of the guys, that older people that were talking about it, were pretty much excited when talking about it, and pretty saddened for things that befell upon us, you know. I don't see a reason for me to live. I'm quite lazy, you know. It's hard for me to imagine myself working anything. It's not a good attribute, but that's it. I worked, I think, once, and it lasted 2 months, and I got sick of it and left, you know. Mostly the money that I have, that I use for betting, and not just betting, for going to cafe or things like that, come from my parents, mostly. But as I said, sometimes it happens that I win while betting, so like today or day after, I had that money. My parents basically don't know the right amount of the money that I am investing, that I am using as a stake, you know. They always think that it's around 2 or 3 marks, but I was way past it when I was 16 years old, so. So I'm almost all my life I am in sport. Not just my life. Here it's a really big thing. Almost every sport. We look at the successes of our sportists as our own. We kind of take pride in others' achievements. Maybe it's a way of distracting ourselves from the things happening.
In de avond is er een belangrijke voetbalwedstrijd. Red Star speelt tegen Partizan. Beide teams komen uit Belgrado in Servië.
People here are mostly divided on that basis. Who is cheering for Partizan, who is cheering for Red Star. There is that thing that they are Serbs, you know. And Croatians here are mostly separated by who is cheering for Hajduk and who is cheering for Dinamo from Zagreb, you know. And we find ourselves, the other teams in the other countries, that we look at as our own.
Milos woont in een buitenwijk van Banja Luka, bij zijn ouders.
Not a lot of children move out as quickly as in other countries. most of us are used to staying with our parents for many reasons. I don't know. This is the part of the house that is intended to be my place. Basically, what I wanted is a big living room that is supposed to be this place here. This is supposed to be the kitchen. This room here is supposed to be my room for sleeping. Yeah. But since we didn't have enough money to build it all, it's up to me to finish this floor. And for now, it's mostly used for drying laundry over there, or for us playing ping pong before we broke the table. I can see myself living here. I don't know what future brings. I don't think that it will take too much money, you know, but current situation is that we can't afford it right now. So basically, it's up to me.
And are you motivated to do so?
It's hard for me to find the motivation to do anything, so.
Ik heb het idee dat Milos alles wel prima vindt. Hij is net als veel andere jongeren, niet zo maatschappelijk betrokken. Dat is misschien de reden waarom er niks verandert. Tijdens mijn reis verblijf ik vaak bij de mensen thuis. Ook bij Vojin en zijn familie. Hij is wel maatschappelijk betrokken.
One month ago I just woke up and I came into the room where is the TV, and on the national television there was news about how great in Bosnia is. It was really, wait, you know, you're lying, you know, that much. Unfortunately, Bosnia doesn't use a lot internet yet, and no matter that all of those facts, true facts are there, they are still quite a lot manipulating through the television. But I was really pissed out, and I just sit and I started writing the letter. And actually it is the letter full of questions. Are you aware that we are on the first place of youth unemployment in the world? Can you talk about this? Are you aware that we are on the third place of general unemployment in the world? Are you aware that people separated that much thanks to your talks? You bring so much fear into the people and hate.
Eto kamere, evo ga, ovo ga snimajte, ovo je lopo.
Pomaže Bog.
Aj ti znaš engleski?
Ja,
on točno priča engleski.
No English.
We have Serbian culture, Croatian culture, and Muslim culture. And when you just separate them, you become weaker. During the last 25 years, it is the almost same situation like the first day after the war. If we hate each other, few guys in the big chairs, you know, they can really manipulate with our votes, with our money, with our lives.
Naast foutieve informatie creëert de media veel wantrouwen en haat tussen de verschillende etnische volkeren. Ik, als buitenstaander, word wel gastvrij ontvangen.
Guys, they have one or 2 minutes, they don't want to let me go. Onda, šta je cilj ovoga?
Cilj je da skupim 100 komada.
Dobro.
Čisto tako iz radoznalost, ljubav prema tome.
Zašto sikira?
Pa hoću da se puno sasikiram i onda da sikiram do kraja. Da se do kraja nasikiram.
I šta je onda cilj da skupiš?
Cilj, onda ću prijaviti u Guinnessovu knjigu rekorda čovjek koji se najviše nasikirao na svijetu. Ovo je šljiva, ali kruška je rakija.
De jonge journalist Azem komt dagelijks in aanraking met de media waar Vojin zich aan ergert.
I'm really lucky, I would say, because I'm working for independent media. We don't get money from the politicians, we do not get money from the country. So I never felt the pressure or the censorship from in the media where I'm working, but when as a journalist, when I'm watching other media or reading other media, I'm like, I get so depressed, I want to take my hair off. Or journalism is a honorable profession, I would say, and they're destroying it. They're destroying the cause of journalism. They're destroying the purpose of journalism, and that's what makes me really pissed off. I spoke with a lot of colleagues from all over the country, and when I asked them, why do you self-censorship yourself? And they told me, like, I have kids, I have a life that I have to pay, and if I don't do it, I will lose my job. I put a blame on politicians. Ethnical tensions are the way of making money. And that's it. You know, they are making money on us. The situation here in Sarajevo is much better. Every important institution is in Sarajevo, every headquarters of the big companies, so people have opportunity to find job. But yes, people do live from Sarajevo also, but you cannot notice that so much because people are coming to Sarajevo. So there is always almost the same number of people living here.
In Sarajevo ontmoet ik Daria weer. Ze heeft net haar Duits examen gehad. Als ze dit heeft gehaald, mag ze beginnen aan haar studie kunstgeschiedenis in Duitsland.
It definitely is my way out. Maybe that's why I'm so stressed over it, because if I don't pass it now, then I don't know that for next 1 year I need to stay here and then try it again. But no, I will not give up now. Totally will not give up, because I put so much effort in it and so much time and so much nerves. And okay, you can put it all inside, but it's important for me, and I will not give up. I will not allow that somebody else tells me where will I be living or what will I be working only based on my passport. I don't want it. I will not allow it. So I will be there with my passport, totally legally, and do all that I really want to do. I will do it there.
Between all the countries here in Balkan, I think the Labor Day is the most popular in Bosnia and Herzegovina. I don't know why is that, because I think people don't really, they don't work too much here, and it's that's connected with Labor Day. It's an un-Labor Day. We're celebrating an un-Labor Day.
We take everything with like a small dose of humor. Even though like our current situation is kind of grim and it's kind of like, we always go for the better futures, and we kind of have this kind of mentality because like eventually it will get better, because if you ask the older people, they will say it can't get any worse, so it has to be better. So when you hit rock bottom, you can't go any lower, you can just go up. So it's kind of like the attitude that we have in Bosnia and Herzegovina in general.
Sad je daleko za nama zovne ulice, idemo na polje, pod petice zveckaju,
uzbuđene djevojke trebaju, zovu nas ulice, idemo na...
Een van de jongeren waarmee ik de Dag van de Arbeid vier is Bruno. Hij wil niet weg uit Bosnia en Herzegovina.
What did your parents say to you when you told them, no, I want to stay here and I want to change the country?
They cried. They really cried. And they were like, just go abroad because you're going to have an easy life, you're going to have a lot of money, like a great wife, couple of kids, and you're going to have it easy. Just go there. But I don't want to because I want to like change the situation here. That's my vision in life. That's generally the purpose of my life. That's the thing that actually gives me the biggest fulfillment. We are living in diversity, you know, and instead of us like having that as something which is amazing, we are using that as something which is kind of horribly bad. And if we just make a small tweak in our heads, I think a lot of things will change here. So when we have this shift that nobody else to be blamed, there's not Americans, there's not EU, there's not international society, there's not Russia, there's not aliens, it's us. We need to fix it. And as soon as we get that in our heads, I think a lot of things will change because no longer like will you have like, oh, we can blame them, it's fine. That's easier. That's always easy. I think that the change is going to come probably in 10 years, maybe even sooner, because there's a lot of youth who are kind of working the same stuff that kind of I am. They're getting a lot of their skills, knowledges, attitudes, everything else also from abroad. So they're bringing a lot of new stuff to the country, to the city, and they're kind of starting to boil like underneath the surface. Soon they will kind of just emerge, like just pop up, and just start kind of ruling the city, like in a good way. So I think in 10 years that we're going to have like a really different situation. In the background, if we're going to film something in 10 years, it's going to be way a lot different than it is right now.
Mislim da moramo opet koju riječ reći za ovaj međunarodni dan, 1. maj, praznik rada, a u stvari izgleda praznik nerada. Da ovaj narod uživa od bijede i glada. Dolazi vrijeme smjene ove vlasti. Vi ste, vlada će vječno. Ništa ne može vječno, dragi narod. Sve se radi onako kako treba, zajedno sa mladima u ovoj zemlji. Kako ovdje, tako i u drugim zemljama Evrope i svijeta. Nismo sami.
De enige plek waar ik tijdens mijn reis geen straathonden heb gezien, is Bručko.
Someone ever told me that you can see how the economy is going of a country by how many dogs there are on the street.
Yeah, so Bručko probably has a good economy there.
Adin kiest er net als Bruno voor om in Bosnia en Herzegovina te blijven. Hij doet van alles om zijn land te verbeteren.
We had like approximately 300 dogs in the streets all over the city, so we started a petition. And we got 20,000 signs to get the asylum get working. So we got like from the government out of the city one big area for the dogs. So we have like for females, for males, and for the small puppies areas. Today we will present our dogs that we collected from the street and try to find families for them. It's really getting dangerous. There was like packs on the streets, and if they get really hungry, they can attack a child, a person, or anything. Like car can hit them. If they're injured, they are more aggressive, and it's really the safety for the people and the dogs better to be at shelters or at families.
Het is fijn dat ik ook mensen ontmoet die ervoor kiezen om te blijven. Naast de straathondenopvang werkt Adin ook in een jeugdcentrum. Hier komen kinderen van verschillende etniciteiten samen. De verdeeldheid van Bosnië en Herzegovina wordt eventjes vergeten.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine,
Super, evo. Znaš što imamo večeras?
It's a place where young people can come together to work on some ideas. This is neutral ground. We're all friends here. We all work together. We all support each other. You forget you're from that area, from background, like if you're a Bosnian or Serbian, Croatian. That's that doesn't matter here. This language that we speak is really the same as Bosnian, Croatian, Serbian. It's all just one language. We don't say that I'm speaking Bosnian, Serbian, or Croatian. We use the term local language. That's one of the ways we try to accomplish what we try to accomplish. Every good deed is good. However it's small was, like every little good you do counts. I think like that. Like every little good deed I do for these kids or this city or anything will change something. So I don't have a feeling that it's too small.
This is Berlin. Un, dos, tres, cuatro.
In het jeugdcentrum ontmoet ik de studenten Maja. Ze doet hier vrijwilligerswerk.
Some things are better, like in the youth center, in this youth organization. I feel like sometimes you really feel like you're making a difference in a child's life when they meet people who are international and they hear a lot of stories. I think that goes to help them be better people. But in the general public, I don't think anything major is happening to really change what's going on in the country.
Bručko is een district met veel zelfbesturingsmacht. Hierdoor is het bijna een mini-landje binnen Bosnië en Herzegovina. In de rest van het land wordt het district gezien als een plek waar het wel goed gaat. Hier leven de verschillende etnische volkeren in harmonie met elkaar.
In Bručko we all race together. So we have no problems with each other. Like we're all friends. We all go for drink, for playing and stuff.
I feel like other people in the country think that, but when you are in the district, you know that that is very much wrong. Most families aren't very tolerant, and they will still tell you, okay, you can be friends with whoever you want, but do not be in a relationship with someone who is a different nationality or a different religion. That is like forbidden. It isn't really this like haven in the country. I've wanted to leave since I was like 12 years old. It's just a very small town and a small country, and it feels like sometimes if you aren't exactly how other people would like you to be, then you don't really belong. And I feel like what I want to do, I can't do in this country. So if I want to work with autistic kids and help and like do anything, I have to leave. Parents here, when something is wrong with their child psychologically, they don't want to admit it. So they just pretend like everything is fine, or they deny it, and they just don't want you to help. It's very deeply rooted in the culture that you should pretend like everything is always okay. And you shouldn't talk about your problems in public, and you shouldn't talk to other people about their problems in public, like to each their own, and that's just how it is.
My half generation of 1994 is not here anymore. So yes, I have a lot of friends in Austria, Germany, Slovenia. There's young people in Brčko, but if they don't find any job, of course they will go. I mean, who wants to stay when they are 23 years old to be paid by their parents?
There is no work to be found in Bosnia. You don't have part-time jobs. If you're a student, you are a student, that's all you are. Your parents will pay for everything, your family pays for everything. It's very rare that you can find something to work with as well as studying.
Het is jammer om te horen dat ook hier jongeren weg willen. Want als ook de actieve jongeren vertrekken, zal de verandering nooit komen. Over een aantal jaar zullen dan ook al deze kinderen willen vertrekken.
There was no young people to make the change, to make the move, to snap out of our old ways. So they didn't help out, they didn't rebel, they didn't vote. So yeah, that's one problem, because when the young is gone, the old rule, but old will die. Children of my children will have that fight as well here. So that's a really big process that we need to take, and we need a lot of fight.
Molly, was...
Bosnië en Herzegovina is een ander soort Europa dan het Europa waarin ik ben opgegroeid. Veel dingen die voor mij vanzelfsprekend zijn, die ieder van mijn leeftijdsgenoten heeft meegemaakt, vinden jongeren uit Bosnië en Herzegovina niet zo gewoon. Mijn reis eindigt, waar hij ook begon, bij Daria.
This is the first time you are going to a zoo?
Yeah, the first time ever. So the first time I'm going to see the animals that probably the rest of the world already seen for 100 times. Oh my god! There's a penguin! Oh my god! I never knew that they're so small! They look unreal! Since I never seen it like that in real life, I really had no picture of how animals look like except from the television. The list still exists of the things that I haven't done. When I came here, I found that they're pretty normal for people from Europe, but for us, we're totally something that we weren't even thinking about because we didn't have a habit to do all those things or an opportunity to do them. Of course I am from Europe. We are Europe. Yeah, you can say so. Well, from some kind of geographical position, but from mentality, not that much. We're still Balkan, and it's different. Everything is hard everywhere. So it's not like I came now to the, I don't know, to some life solutions by coming to Germany. I didn't, but it's something that really needed to be done, because otherwise I would maybe find myself after 2 years sitting with my parents in the same apartment and drinking coffee in the same bar. I wouldn't be able to go any further with it. Here in Germany, life is really passing you by and you feel it very hard. In Bosnia, I never felt it like that. It's like a totally different time zone. It's like time doesn't even exist. It like stopped.